This pile of scrap here is the jacking point, which I finally got off the car, and yeah, it is in a very sorry state. I have a sneaking suspicion, looking at the damage underneath this car, that at some point in its past it was picked up with a forklift truck well before I got it, so I wonder if maybe it was saved from a scrapyard before it got its 90s restoration. To do this repair, things got a little bit more advanced. I had to take a bit out the sill. Now, I am replacing this outer sill in its entirety later, but I've got to get this area secure first, so I've got a good point to jack it from. We're on an axle stand here, under the one point I've got that's good, and I've cleared out the area where the jacking point goes. Now, because I'm using a metal bar, what I can do is I can drill holes through the floor and puddle weld it from the top. So I'll use a jack to hold up the new bar that's going to go in, and that should secure that really well. I have to do a bit of work at this end because I need to have something to weld the new inner sill to, was missing here, and a little bit of work at the far end there because I need a little sticky out tab to put it on the actual chassis rail that this car has, and then we should be good. I might put some extra stitch welds down the side once it's in, we'll see. Yeah, it's been a lot of work just to get this out and get this cleaned up, and it's not perfect, but it's going to have to do, unfortunately. Plenty of tools and time and fiddling about. We are getting there. This is the new jacking bar, and after some playing about with how it locates and everything, this is the shape that I settled on. This end will get plug welded to the inner sill, which will offer the support at the sill side. This end with the hole will get plug welded to the chassis leg underneath the car, and then when it's in the car, sits that way up, I'm going to drill holes through the floor and I'm going to plug weld to the top of this. Originally there wasn't a bar on the top, it had a flange on each side and that was spot welded to the floor. I'm pretty sure this will be okay because your two key points are the chassis leg at this end and the inner sill at this end, and then this section in the middle is just to make sure your floor stays flat basically. So I think that will be okay. I don't think I'll need to run additional stitches down the sides. I don't think it's going to be necessary because, as I say, we'll be done along the top there. There are some floor repairs to do, but I'm going to do that after I've fitted this because I think that's going to be a bit easier. Right, let's set up and do the next bit. Now, I know I'm not recording a lot of this as I'm working, and that's because a lot of it isn't really able to be recorded as I'm working. It's one of those jobs again. Everything was going really well until I ran out of gas. And I'm like, why are my welds so rubbish? What's going on? And yeah, it's because there's no gas. So I can't do anything right now. Typical timing, run out of gas. Slightly awkward because this is the only operational car, so I'm hopefully going to get a bottle delivered. But I can't take it off the axle stand because there's no jacking point. And if I did, I can't then jack it up to put it on an axle stand. So the car is grounded until I can get some gas. But it's also the end of the month, so I'm kind of skint. So I'm not sure when I can order some gas. This is one of the perils of working on your own car. I'm going to have a good tidy up, put some weld through primer on the bare metal stuff to protect it until the new gas bottle arrives, and that will probably be a day or two for me, and it'll be a couple of seconds for you. Yeah, not a lot I can do in the meantime. We are making progress. I have really bad hay fever at the moment. First time I've ever had it this bad, so you'll have to excuse my terrible voice. But
this is the top side. I've already got this new jacking point in. I'll show you that in a moment. I've chased a couple of cracks that had appeared just from bashing everything about. You can see there's a lot of repairs on this floor. If I could get new floor pans for this car, it really should do with one in the driver's side, but they don't make them, and I haven't the skills to make one myself. That's one of the drain plugs there. I've hammered it as flat as I can. The trouble is, the brake and fuel line run right next to that, so I was going to weld that up, but I think I'm just going to glue the little plastic drain plug that goes in there back in after I've cleaned all the rust off, because I don't want to be welding right next to fuel and brake lines. This other drain plug hole, however, there's nothing around this. Turns out this one was quite bad. There was a lot of underseal on the underside hiding it, and on the top it just hadn't shown that it was bad until I started cleaning back, so I'm going to have to cut out a bit here. So I think it makes sense to just patch this one as if it was a regular rust hole, because really most of the hole here is the drain hole, it's not the rust. But if I just patch it in, then it's not a problem. Outside, I've put in a section of inner sill. Now, I am going to take off this outer sill soon, and I'll repair this properly. For now, I just need this strong so I can get everything back together as quickly as I can. I don't know when I'm going to have time to do this full outer sill properly, and I definitely don't want to rush that bit. I just want to get everything stabilised for now, so that it's, you know, strong enough, which it is. And I'm not going to take you in very close on this, because although the welds are quite strong, and by that I mean I can grab hold of this and wobble the car, so I think it's okay, it's not very pretty because I can't see what I'm doing, I don't have a lot of space, and it's a rotten job. So I've made it as secure as I possibly can within the confines of my setting, and it will have to do. It's better than what was there, it's stronger than what was there, so that's the important thing. The other side over there is a more complicated piece with drain holes and things in it. This one's just some 2mm wall square tubing. It's fine, it'll do the job. It gives me a jacking point, which is what I need. I will be seam sealing all of this, putting some paint on and some underseal and all that kind of business, and I probably will drill some drain holes in the bottom later on once I've got everything tidied. At the moment I've really got to get the car moving again because this is my daily driver. I don't have a backup car, so I've just got to keep going, which means sometimes you just have to do a job and then come back to it. Yeah, so I've got some tidy up to do. I'm going to put the outer sill section back on, trim this up and put the car on its wheels, because I think that's going to be easier for doing the repairs on the floor, and then when the floor repairs are done inside the car, I can jack it back up again using a jacking point, which will be a novelty, and then we can deal with finishing all of this underneath, because the repairs on the floor there, they might make a mess of any finishes I put on underneath here. Floor patches are welded in, so I'm happy about that. I haven't done any grinding back or anything yet. These two little pieces over here that were the cracks, they've been just knocked down a little bit. There's quite a thick soundproofing pad that goes in here, so I'd rather the welds be ugly and strong than flat and pretty. It's not something you're going to see, and being the floor, I'd rather it be strong. This one, I've just got to find my sealant. I'm definitely just going to glue the drain plug back in. That's how it was factory, so that's fine. This one, I'm happier that I've welded it up. I don't know. I feel like this is in the line of fire a lot more, so it's more likely to rust out again, so it feels like that's a sensible approach. And this one was just totally random. The strengthening chassis leg runs just here, and this is just to the side of it, so I'm not sure why that's gone there. And you can see previous repairs here ahead of the jacking bar, which is here, so there's a patch in there. So it's a bit of a quilt, but it'll do. It'll be fine. next task is trimming this back and getting all this goop off so I can put the outer sill back on and tie everything back together. Because it's trying to rain on me, so I am not taking the outer sill off today. It's supposed to be better weather tomorrow, so I might tackle that tomorrow. Of course, that's meaningless on a video because time has no meaning in internet videos. Inside's done. A little bit extra I did was 3 little puddle welds here right over the bar, just to tie the bar into the floor. That felt like a sensible thing to do. So that's now welded this side and the underside, so I can't see that shifting anywhere. Obviously these patches are done. I've chased some pinholes I could see, and everything will be getting a coat of seam sealer just to make sure that the moisture stays out, and I'll do that both sides. Quite a bit of cleanup of old underseal underneath first. That hole is all prepped and ready for the plug to be glued in. So inside the car, the welding work is done. Outside, I've got this cleaned up where I need it to be for welding. I will clean up a little more once it's in place, it'll be easier. Holes drilled for plug welds, some weld through primer on the back. Not being too precious because obviously I'm replacing all of this, so I just need it together for now. Removed the excess of the inner sill here. Now when I take this outer sill off, I may end up replacing this section, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to find when this outer sill comes off, so it might be easier just to replace all the bottom edge. We'll see what happens when I take it apart. All of my edges here are all prepped, and since this came off in one piece with the cutting disc, it should just go straight back on, and the cutting disc should give me a good gap for the weld. Fingers crossed. It's going to look a bit lumpy. It's not going to be great, but it will do. Right, I think that's all the welding done. I will just need to clean this back, obviously remove the clamps that are on there, but I'm happy enough with this section here because there's no point me making a really beautiful job since this is all coming off, as I've mentioned a few times. Yeah. So I'll clean this up. I'll seal all of this up and get some top coat on. Do the same underneath the car. And then she's finally back in action again. And that'll be nice because it's a bit annoying when your only car is up on an axle stand and you can't do anything about it. There's so much more work to come. Lots and lots to do, but we'll get through it. You just have to... You know, it's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. Don't eat elephants. Right, tidy up time, and I'll bring you back in just a moment. Sealed, painted, undersealed, done. Or at least as done as it needs to be for now. Same on the outer sill there. So this is all as finished as I can possibly do. I would love to get all of this restored back to factory, but I have to be realistic. This will have to do. Inside, I've got everything sealed and painted, just with whatever paint I had lying around. It's under the carpet, so it's a good way of using up some odds and ends. So that's good. I just need to get the carpet down and the seat bolted back in, and then this will be all done again. And as a little bonus, because I fancied doing something fun, I filled in these holes that used to have the indicators and side lights in. And that went surprisingly easily. The front end of the car looks a lot tidier. You can see I'm using the new paint from the sample cans I got, just to give you a rough idea of where we're going with that. More on that in the future. That needs a lot of saving up for and a lot of bodywork prep to get it to the standard that my friend who is painting it wants it to be.